Canada, in the eastern part of Canada, where Montreal is. It's the province of Quebec. There are a group of natives there called the Algonquins. They were the first people to discover that these maple trees had a sap in it. Does everybody know what a sap is? No? Have you ever seen, like, if there's a hole in a tree, or if you hit a tree, something sticky comes out of it? It's like a sticky water, and then if it dries, it almost becomes like glue. You touch your fingers, it gets stuck. That's a sap. And sap that comes from the maple tree is very, very fine. It's just like water. It almost tastes like water too. So the Algonquins were the first to discover that this sap comes from the tree. What they would do is they would, in the trunk of the tree, they would, with their axes called tomahawks. Does everyone know what an axe is? Like it's used to chop wood. They would cut a little V into the trunk of the tree, and then they would get a piece of bark or a piece of wood that would be in a sort of like a slide shape, and they would stick it into that V. Under that, they would put a bucket made out of a piece of hollow tree trunk, and they would collect the sap. After some time, usually a few hours, the bucket would become full, and then they would boil and boil and boil the sap until they would get something sort of this color, which is maple syrup. Now, that way took a really, really long time because it just slowly drips, and when you have a V shape, it drips even more slowly. When the first Europeans came to Canada, the French and the British, mostly the French, they came with more technology. They came with ways of working with metal, ways of shaping metal, and they created spouts to go into the tree. Later on, I really encourage you guys to go around and take a look at the posters we have up. On this poster over here, there is a sample of a spout that the first settlers would put in. I'll just go and show you guys. This thing right here. There's a picture of how it works with all the pieces in it. I'll get out of the way so you guys can see. Now, one half of that tap would go into the tree, and the sap would flow from that. Now, if you look at that, it's sort of like it's not too much different from the type of tap that you would have in your house. You know, it's connected to the tree or to the sink, and then part of it flows out. The part where the sap would flow out has a little hook. On that hook, they would connect a metal bucket. And there's a picture over there that I'm going to